Hello all of you wrestling fans. The 3-hour Raw featuring the King of the Ring 2010 tournament is over. We got a new King of the Ring crown, and that is Sheamus, and despite all kinds of rumors of what's going to happen tonight, I shouldn't even start. I'm telling you, all the weird, the somewhat strange rumors and suggestions that I've received of what's going to happen tonight. Triple H did not return and spoil Sheamus's win as the new King of the Ring. And that would have been, if Triple H had returned, that would have been kind of crapping on the entire King of the Ring tournament, burying the winner in Sheamus. So I don't expect Triple H to be back until at least after TLC. To have Sheamus gloat about this King of the Ring win for at least a couple of weeks before they, what I believe, will have the Triple H versus Sheamus revenge match, where Triple H will finally get one over on Sheamus. And this tournament was also booked in a way to as I guess help re-establish Sheamus, whom, since he has lost the title at Night of Champions in the elimination match, have had a pretty rough road. He lost a rematch to Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell. Then he was at the losing team on the bragging rights, the 7 vs 7 elimination match. Then he lost to Santino Marella. He lost to John Morrison at Survivor Series, putting him over, and got his rightful revenge against John Morrison in the finals of the 2010 King of the Ring tournament. So Sheamus is pretty much re-established. What I don't like about this is that this is a guy who's already been champion. Why do they push him to become the King of the Ring when they could have elevated Alberto Del Rio, who I predicted was to be the winner somewhere before Survivor Series, where I made my King of the Ring 2010 predictions video, or a guy like Cody Rhodes, whom, if he on the other hand would have won the King of the Ring, would kind of had his hairdo messed up due to the crown. So I can understand why he didn't win the tournament. But a guy like John Morrison, whom I personally isn't just that big of a fan of, but if they want to keep pushing him, I can see why they won't allow him and let him go 2-0 over Sheamus. But still, also people might react strongly and harshly to the fact that Sheamus received a bye and only had 2 matches in one night, and therefore that this is not a legitimate tournament. Well, if that's the case and what people think, I can actually go back. The first tournament won by Don Morocco in 1985, that tournament had a bye, forfeited match in it. The 1986 tournament had a bye in it. The 1987 tournament had a bye in it. The 1988 tournament actually had 2 byes in it. I think one was due to a draw in a match and one was to a double GQ or double countout or something like that. The 1991 tournament, the tournament that Bret Hart won, Bret Hart himself actually had a bye in the semi-finals, I think. And the 1993 tournament, also won by Bret Hart. His opponent in the finals, Bam Bam Bigelow, had a bye due to Tatanka and Lex Luger going to the time limit draw. 1994 tournament actually was the first tournament to run, all the matches ran its way through. No byes. 1995 had a bye in it. Mabel, the winner, had a bye into the finals against Savio Vega. And actually interesting that they mentioned Mabel and his King of the Ring win in 1995 being in Philadelphia, where this night's tournament was. Normally they haven't been too eager to even bring that up, kinda ignoring the fact that Mabel won. Cole indeed said that, yeah, that was an interesting time in the WWE history, and it was. Why he got pushed to win the King of the Ring, I will not understand. Even beating The Undertaker in that tournament. 1996 tournament had a bye in it, but from there on, 1997 didn't have the bye in it. On the other hand, Triple H got 2 spots in the quarterfinals for some reason. And 1998 tournament didn't have a bye, nor did 1999, 2000, 2002 all the way through didn't have it either. On the other hand, I didn't like those tournaments that much because those only had the semi-finals and the finals in the same night. The first round, qualifying round, and quarterfinals were all spread out. So in that way I prefer to have 3 rounds in one night. Sheamus, yeah, only 2 matches and he won. Could go down like that. All in all, I can say that any of the matches in this tournament is really memorable. Sheamus versus John Morrison was really good, actually, and it's looked kind of like the match at Survivor Series with Sheamus dominated. You had Daniel Bryan, one of my favorites, against Alberto Del Rio, one of my, not favorites, but the one I predicted to win in the first round already. Daniel Bryan eliminated on the spot. Not that much to say about it, because Daniel Bryan, I don't know when he lost the last time. He has won a lot. He got 2-0 over The Miz, 3-0 over Ted DiBiase, 3-0 over Dolph Ziggler. He even beat the former World Champion from SmackDown, Jack Swagger, on Raw, on the old school Raw, I think. So, I mean, he had a loss coming anytime soon. But that match was okay. Then John Morrison, Alberto Del Rio was okay. Kind of quick finish to that match. Felt like it came from nowhere. Then you had John Morrison in his first match of the night. It was an okay match. Ezekiel Jackson, Drew McIntyre, that was a double counted match. Not that much to expect from it, but I expected Ezekiel to dominate that one. So good kudos to WWE for not making that happen. And Drew McIntyre got away looking pretty good in that match. Then you had Sheamus versus Kofi Kingston. That was a really good match where Kofi looked like he had the match won on a few occasions, but where Sheamus' routine and strength actually paid off when he big booted Kofi as he came up from the top rope. So all in all, yeah, there were some good matches, but on a Raw, the tournament kind of got cut up. I prefer to see all the quarterfinals in an array. Then something else happens, then you see the semi-finals, and something else happens, and then the finals. Now, of course, when this is a television show, WWE has to prioritize that starting each hour very strong. Hence, they had to cut it up with The Miz coming in and cutting his promo, which, by the way, I have to say was absolutely awesome. He made a resume over his career, and I sitting there, will he mention JBL, because it's an infamous fact that JBL treated The Miz like shit when he came to the WWE. And he did that, and he mentioned Triple H, and he mentioned John Cena. No one believing in him, and I can say as a fan myself of wrestling, and I know a lot of you with me, no one ever believed in The Miz. People hated him. He really had to work to get to where he is, to have respect, to get his spot. The WWE officials and management apparently believed in him, mainly due perhaps to his mainstream attention and attraction from the MTV Real World. But they believed in him, they pushed him, they pushed him, they pushed him, and he actually showed he has excelled immensely. Very few wrestlers have excelled that quick as he has done, despite not having that amateur background or that specific wrestling background. He has excelled extremely quickly within the ropes. Should he be champion already? I don't know. Still to see whether he deserves it. His promo at least couldn't have been any better. The way that he said, and it seemed like he was going to build up for this heroic speech. If people tell you that you can't succeed after him telling you about he succeeded despite no one believing him, then he finished off, then you can't, because you aren't me. That's an absolute fantastic way to just alienate himself from the fans. Then he went on. WWE has getting a lot of criticism over the internet for not respecting the title, for allowing The Miz to have it on him. WWE corresponded to that by having Lawler actually bringing up these exact arguments, saying The Miz doesn't deserve it, it was a fluke win, he hasn't earned his spot, he has to show his true colors and earn the stripes as the champ. Michael Cole, on the other hand, being the Miz fanboy and spokesperson that he is, said that he had deserved it. Then WWE fans around on the internet, the YWC, also said that WWE doesn't respect the title for doing this. And in a way, I can agree with that, with hot-shotting guys up to winning a title. And I mean, they had like eight more months to build The Miz up before having him cash the briefcase in, because I believe he had all the way until July next year, as they won the title briefcase in July on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I believe he had all the way to the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view to cash it in. But he cashed it in, and Well, they made a story of that because a lot of wrestlers, they brought up Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which is amazing that he never was the world's champion. And they also brought up, who else was it now? I forgot it. Well, they brought up Ricky Steamboat as an example. Jerry Lawler himself said, I've never been the champion, and he got a match, and a TLC match that was way above my expectations. And in the back, Arn Anderson comes up to Jerry Lawler. Arn Anderson, who's never been champion himself, pats Lawler on the back, gave him some encouraging words, says, are you really willing to do this? Man, and is it true you really got a title? I heard. They made it seem like a really big deal to these guys, and I believe it is. So that's a good way to build up some faith in the title. Now, of course, a lot of names were missing this night. Triple H out with an injury, CM Punk out with an injury at the commentator's booth, John Cena being there in a way, and Jericho out timeout, and Randy Orton selling his injury attack from last week. So not an easy task to pull off this Raw for the guys being there, but I like this period because a lot of mid-carders get to come up and show off. A lot of wrestlers that normally doesn't get a spot gets a spot. And CM Punk is awesome. He is absolutely awesome as a commentator. They should give him a lifetime contract. So whenever he's up retiring from wrestling, he should be put right in there in the commentator's booth and stay there for just as long as he wants. The way that he sold when Cena came in from the crowd, hey, isn't here he as a fan? What with the cops? Call the cops. And Matt, oh wow, really mature. He spilled out my soda. Share your thoughts about this Monday Night Raw. I want to keep this video under 11 minutes, so I'll cut it right here. But share your thoughts. What do you think of the new King of the Ring? Have a nice day.